It's easy to get stuck reaching for the same familiar fruits and vegetables, even when you know a colorful variety is key. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie supplements don't replace fruits and vegetables, but it makes it easy to add more variety to what you already eat. With 31 ingredients that are whole fruits and vegetables, switching it up is easy because we've already taken care of the hard part. Go to balanceofnature.com and get a free fiber and spice supplement, plus 35% off your first set as a new preferred customer by using discount code POD.
It's the 77 WABC News Hour.
Talking the news with Noah Layden.
All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports. And now,
Talking the news with Noah
on 77 WABC.
Yes, that's me. Good morning. It is Thursday, November 6th. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Sunshine today, a little bit cooler than it has been, the high 53. Tonight and overnight, partly cloudy, low 39. And then Friday, sun and clouds, high 60. If you're walking out the door with us right now, 47 clear in White Plains up in Westchester County. 48 clear in Bergenfield over in New Jersey. And it's 46 and clear right outside our Midtown studios.
This is the Top 5 at 5.
Flight delays are about to begin to pile up. 6 city firefighters in the hospital this morning. Mayor-elect Mamdani starts to lay out his vision for New York. Remember Eric Adams? He wants you to know he's still the mayor. And a Hudson Valley Board of Ed member wishes he had never gone on Facebook. All right, let's get into it. 501 up to the Bronx. 7 firefighters injured, including some with some serious burns after a trash fire spread to several cars last night. It led to this massive explosion. The FDNY says firefighters responded to a call of the car explosions. This was about 7 o'clock last night. Westchester Avenue in Longwood. The flames spread to a couple of cars before the large explosion occurred. People watching from their windows, they saw this fireball and they say it was awfully frightening.
I'm like, how am I going to get out? That's what I thought. Like what now? At the time of the big explosion, I don't know how close one of them was, because the fire truck was already here when the big explosion happened.
7 firefighters injured, including 5 who suffered serious burns to their hands and face. 3 admitted to Jacoby Medical Center. The burns considered serious but not life-threatening. Here's a member of the FDNY.
The firefighters are awake, alert, and speaking, but they have some serious burns, and we'll be obviously praying for them.
Yeah, and we heard from doctors at Jacoby Medical Center who say that these firefighters will make a full recovery.
I was talking to each of your members. A wall of fire came on them and surrounded them, and what they were concerned about is their colleagues and their families. And there is a reason why I refer to you folks as New York's bravest.
Yeah. Engine 82 also endured some damage. They're now investigating what the cause of that fire was. There appears to be a Russian link to many of the bomb threat hoaxes across New Jersey that targeted polling places during Tuesday's election.
Police reports about threats to 3 polling places in Passaic County, which were emailed to officials, were linked to Russian email addresses. And the FBI says many of Tuesday's threats that went to 7 different New Jersey counties appeared to have come from Russian email domains. A teenager from North Brunswick was arrested for texting a threat to a local elementary school where voting was happening. No word if that case is connected to the others. Andrew Whitman, NBC News Radio, New Jersey.
Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani, he was up early yesterday, making an appearance on Good Morning America, then holding a press conference in Queens where he started to lay out his plans for January.
I'm so proud to be standing here today as the mayor-elect of the greatest city in the world. Over 2 million New Yorkers cast their ballots. Whether they were the more than million who supported this campaign or the others who supported someone else, or whether they felt too disappointed by the political process to participate at all, I will work every day to honor the trust that I now hold.
The Democratic Socialist Mamdani says he's building a city hall that will deliver on the promises he made.
The hard work of improving New Yorkers' lives starts now.
Okay, so now the question is, who does he keep? Who stays from the prior administration? He says he wants to keep some members of Mayor Adams' administration, including the police commissioner.
I've made my intention clear to retain Commissioner Tisch, and I look forward to having conversations with her on that very subject.
Meantime, New York's fire commissioner, Robert Tucker, who's Jewish, he handed in his resignation yesterday morning and then left for Israel. The anti-Israel mayor-elect Mamdani, of course, won. His resignation going to take effect. That Tucker's resignation will take effect next month. Wall Street trying to figure out in the coming weeks how a socialist will run New York City.
Some on Wall Street say crime will be an indicator of whether they stay or go, according to the Wall Street Journal. An investment firm executive says, you're going to call a social worker when some guy exposes himself outside a school? Good luck with that. Hedge fund billionaire Bill Ackman, who spent more than $2 million to stop Mamdani, posted a congratulatory note to him saying, if I can help, just let me know what I can do. Joe Connolly, 77 WABC News.
Down at the White House, the president reacting to the Mamdani being elected next mayor of the city.
It was a very angry speech, certainly angry toward me, and I think he should be very nice to me. You know, I'm the one that sort of has to approve a lot of things coming to him, so he's off to a bad start.
And the president, he was on Fox News, by the way. He said he felt the victory speech from Mamdani was harsh. He says that he feels Mamdani would be better suited being kind to him.
I would say he should reach out to us, really. I think he should reach out. Right. I'm here. We'll see what happens, but I would think that it would be more appropriate for him to reach out to us.
Now everybody's trying to figure out, is it going to be this mass exodus from New York, Texas, trying to attract New Yorkers who are disappointed by the election of Mamdani? Glenn Hammer, he heads the Texas Association of Business, and he says the Lone Star State is the best place to make money moving forward.
Contrast an anti-Israel mayor who's a socialist who wants to raise taxes with, the best jobs governor in America.
He says on the same day that New York City elected a Democratic socialist leader, Texans passed a ban on taxing stocks, capital gains, and estates. On top of that, he says the fledgling Texas Stock Exchange positions the state as a new finance center of the nation.
It's going to accelerate the migration of finance jobs from New York to Texas.
And Hammer says on top of that, the socialist priorities, he says the new mayor has been critical of Israel. He says that won't happen in Texas.
There's no way I would live in New York City right now. Texas is much friendlier to Israel and to the Jewish people.
WABC News Time 5:09. Let's go out to California, where they are challenging California's Prop 50, which was passed overwhelmingly by voters in Tuesday's special election. That means the redistricting of California could get underway. They say Prop 50 did not take into account the makeup of some of these communities where they want to do the redistricting.
And that is why we are challenging these maps, because individuals like myself who represent a different district now live in a VRA district. That is what these maps have done. That's what's been forced. It has diminished the voices of a lot of people across the state of California, and we're going to push back on that.
Their lawsuit claims the new district maps violate both the 14th and 15th Amendments of the Constitution.
The map is designed to favor one race of California voters over others. This violates the 14th Amendment's guarantee of equal protection under the law and the right under the 15th Amendment to not have one's vote abridged on account of race.
The redistricting effort in California, that was led by Governor Gavin Newsom, and he says it was in response to Texas redistricting to turn more of the Lone Star State red. President Trump yesterday, he was celebrating his one-year mark since winning a second term in the White House. He was in Miami to discuss his economic agenda, boasted once again that America is the hottest nation in the world because of his policies.
Since March, the price of eggs is down 85%. Energy prices are down, interest rates are down, despite the fact that we have a total nincompoop at the Federal Reserve.
He says the U.S. is getting $21 trillion of investments this year, largely due to his tariffs.
We rescued our economy, regained our liberty, and together we saved our country on that magnificent night.
And as he was speaking at this economic forum in Miami yesterday, the president calling on Democrats to reopen the government, which has been shut down for 37 days
But
now.
It's time for Chuck Schumer and the radical Democrat Congress to stop playing games with the people's lives and to pass a clean funding bill that they've done 30 times before. And to reopen government immediately, just reopen it.
And that shutdown is the reason federal officials are announcing a cutback in the number of flights in U.S. airspace. This starts tomorrow morning. 10% less flights going in and out. It's a result of staffing shortages due to the government shutdown. Of course, TSA workers, air traffic controllers, the people who work at the airports, are working without a paycheck. Some of them have been calling in sick. And so the thought is they need to protect the airspace. Here's more from some FAA officials.
We have decided that a 10% reduction in scheduled capacity would be appropriate to, again, continue to take the pressure off of our controllers.
That's the FAA Administrator Brian Bedford announcing the move yesterday. Says the agency will reduce air traffic at 40 high-volume airports. And you won't be surprised to hear that includes Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK. And they say this will stay in place if there's no end to the shutdown. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said earlier this week the FAA would be forced to shut down airspace in some markets if the shutdown continues, and he said now's the time.
There is going to be a 10% reduction in capacity at 40 of our locations. This is not based on what airline travels, has more flights out of what location. This is about where's the pressure and how do we alleviate the pressure.
Yeah, so if you're planning to get out of Dodge, go on vacation, maybe it's a business trip, for sure you're going to have to check ahead of time beginning tomorrow.
We're trying to lean into the fact that when we see pressures building in these 40 markets, we just can't ignore it.
Yeah, okay, so again, it'll affect JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark. So if you're heading out in the next 24 hours, you're definitely going to want to keep on top of this story. And while we're talking about the shutdown, President Trump says it's time for Republicans to terminate the filibuster amid the government shutdown.
If you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape.
The president making the comments. He was hosting Republican senators for a breakfast at the White House yesterday. He warned that no legislation will be passed for over 3 years if lawmakers don't end the filibuster.
We won't pass any legislation. There'll be no legislation passed for 3.25. We have 3.25 years, so it's a long time. This is the first time they haven't done an extension. Extensions are supposed to be easy, but if they won't do an extension, they won't do any bill, even a simple bill. And we should do our own bills. We should get out. We should do our own bills.
Yeah, there's no sign, by the way, that senators are on board with the idea of changing the filibuster. Of course, it comes now as the shutdown is the longest in history, 37 days. 5:13, the NTSB says it's working to find out what went wrong before a UPS plane crashed into a giant fireball, Louisville, Kentucky on Tuesday, killing 11 on board. NTSB board member Tom Inman says investigators have zeroed in on a critical piece of video taken from the ground,
which shows the left engine detaching from the wing during the takeoff roll.
So 11 people were hurt, 11 people were killed, nearly a dozen hurt following this crash. It was at Muhammad Ali International Airport. More from the NTSB, who held this press conference yesterday in Louisville.
The plane was traveling from Louisville, Kentucky to Honolulu, Hawaii. There were 3 souls on board the plane.
Did you see this crash? I mean, it's really a spectacular crash. I mean, awful, but just wild to look at.
After being cleared for takeoff, a large plume of fire in the area of the left wing occurred during the takeoff roll.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, he was at the crash site last night.
And there are a handful of other people that we're still searching for that we hope weren't on site.
Yeah, so as of last night, after he held that press conference, they said they are no longer looking for anybody. So it's 11 dead, dozen injured. Of course, as more information comes in on this crash, they don't know what took place. We'll pass that on to you. All right, 5:15, let's head over to the 77 WABC Sports Desk. Good morning, Justin Ellick.
Good morning to you, Noam Laden. Start here on the hardwood at the Garden. OG Anunoby scored 25 points. Jalen Brunson had 23 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds en route to a 137-114 Knicks win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Josh Hart added 18 points for the Knicks, who controlled the second half and improved to 5-0 at Madison Square Garden. They outworked the T-Wolves, turning 21 offensive rebounds into 31 second-chance points and outscored them 83-56 after trailing by 4 at halftime. Karl-Anthony Towns finished with 15 points and 10 rebounds. Up next for the Knicks, they'll host their crosstown rival Brooklyn Nets come Sunday. Speaking of those Nets, they overcame the loss of leading scorer Cam Thomas to claim their first victory of the season. We shall all rejoice in a 112-103 road win over the Indiana Pacers. Michael Porter Jr. had 32 points and 11 rebounds, making 10 of 20 shots, including 4 3-pointers as the Nets pulled away in the fourth quarter in a game of spurts that featured 12 lead changes and 10 ties. The Nets, who had lost the first 7 games this season, got 4 other double-digit efforts as Nick Claxton scored 18, Noah Clowney had 17, Tyrese Martin 16, and Terrence Mann 15. Up next for Brooklyn, they'll host the Detroit Pistons tomorrow. Look ahead to ice hockey action tonight here locally. It's 7 p.m. puck drop for the Devils out in Jersey. They're at 9-4 so far this season, and they'll welcome in the 9-3-1 Montreal Canadiens. And it is Thursday already, which means NFL Week 10 gets underway tonight with your weekly installment of Thursday Night Football. It's a 2-6 Raiders at the 7-2 Broncos. Denver there, 8.5-point home favorites. And again, that's an 8:15 p.m. kickoff. That is your Sports Noam, and I'm Justin Ellick on 77 WABC.
WABC News Time 5:18. Let's go down to D.C. President Trump's tariffs and the case against them going before the Supreme Court yesterday. The case challenges the president's use of International Emergency Economic Powers Act to impose those tariffs. Oregon has argued against the case. Here's a little bit of what it sounded like in D.C. yesterday.
We don't allow one human being in the Oval Office to unilaterally start increasing all of our taxes and taking money out of our pockets and increasing the prices of the things that we pay.
That's Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield, who says President Trump doesn't have the authority to impose tariffs this way. Some of the court's conservative justices questioning whether Congress has sole authority over tariffs and if the president was acting illegally.
Normally, when you pass revenue-raising things that are going to impact all of us, which we're seeing right now, whether it's clothes, utilities, healthcare costs, when you do things like that in America, you do that through votes. You do that in Congress.
Now, the Attorney General out of Oregon says based on their questions yesterday, he said it appears the justices are concerned about the president's actions.
I think you had every justice seriously considering whether the Trump administration has the authority to do this.
5:19, the push continues to raise funds, gather food for those affected by Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica. The Jamaican Tourist Board sending representatives to the United States to collect some of the goods that are being given away. He says they need to help about 300,000 people who were displaced by the hurricane.
We have more people in need than the relief supplies that we have, so it's time for us to really act right now with urgency.
Yeah, they still are gathering things like tents, diapers, tarps, batteries, water, canned goods, mosquito repellent. If you have anything or anything like that in your house, or if you want to pay for that, they still need it.
We sent about 9 planes of relief supplies to Jamaica and 2 planes to Haiti. We're endeavoring to have at least a plane with 50,000 pounds each going to Jamaica, but it's not enough.
The Tourism Board encouraging anybody who has a connection to Jamaica or who just wants to give to people in need to do so right now.
I know that times are hard with the government shutdown, but this is a Category 5 storm, similar to Andrew, similar to Maria in Puerto Rico, similar to Ivan in Grenada, and we need your help.
Yeah, again, they're saying about 300,000 still displaced from that storm. 5:21 to Colorado, where the man accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at a Boulder crowd, the Jewish organization, back in June, pleading not guilty to more than 180 state charges yesterday. 45-year-old Muhammad Solomon entered his plea through his attorney yesterday.
At this time, Mr. Solomon would like to enter a not guilty plea. We'd ask to set a motion hearing and jury trial.
The charges include first-degree murder after one woman was killed, several others injured. Solomon previously pleaded not guilty to federal charges, including federal hate crimes. Investigators say he shouted "Free Palestine" as he did this attack against this Jewish group, a pro-Israel group. His trial scheduled for July of 2026, with jury selection set to begin early in July.
Victims want this to go to trial as soon as possible. They want justice to be done for the victims, their families, and for this community. And we're going to make sure that we support them every step of the way. So you were right in perceiving their frustration about the trial being pushed out, but that's something we had talked about in advance. And I know that they're going to continue coming down to court for every court appearance, including for the trial.
WABC News Time 522. Charlie Kirk's widow, she was on Fox News yesterday. She says she's fighting to have cameras in the courtroom for the trial of her husband's alleged assassin. She says there were cameras all over her husband when he was murdered, so now there should be cameras in court too.
We deserve to have cameras in there. Why not be transparent? There's nothing to hide. I know there's not, because I've seen what the case is built on.
Kirk says she wants people to see what true evil looks like. The Utah judge in this case, he's placed restrictions on camera coverage of the preliminary court proceedings for the accused killer, Tyler Robinson, but he hasn't banned cameras yet just for the case itself.
Let everyone see what true evil is.
The 22-year-old's accused of murdering Kirk during a Turning Point rally at Utah Valley University. That was back on September 10th. She also told Fox News, got into detail about the aftermath after she learned of the murder of her husband, the assassination. She said she was immediately struck by seeing her husband's body at the morgue. I mean, well, obviously that would be the case.
That smirk to me is that look of, you thought you could stop what I've built.
Yeah, she said the assassin did not achieve his ultimate goals.
You thought that you could end this vision, this movement.
And she also talked about this dust-up with Jimmy Kimmel. You remember Jimmy Kimmel made some offensive comments in the aftermath of the assassination. His show was taken off a number of ABC stations across the country. And she said that Jimmy Kimmel reached out to her to apologize, even offered her a chance to come on the show so he could apologize in person.
Not our mess. If you want to say I'm sorry to someone who's grieving, go right ahead.
Yeah, so she apparently did not accept that apology.
If that's on your heart, don't do it. I don't want it.
Yeah, 524. The leaders from 5 Central Asian nations will be meeting with President Trump today in D.C.
The C5+1 meeting will primarily focus on critical minerals the U.S. needs. Other topics of discussion will include technology transfers and expanded cultural and educational exchanges. The meeting comes just after Trump secured a minerals deal with Chinese leader Xi Jinping in late October. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Pope Leo weighing in after hearing that Homeland Security agents refused to allow clergy members into a Chicago area ICE facility to give detainees communion. The pontiff, who's from Chicago, telling reporters that one day we'll be asked how we did or how we received foreigners. He's upset. He said the clergy should have been let in.
And I think that there's a deep reflection that needs to be made in terms of what's happening. Many people who've lived for years and years and years, never causing problems, have been deeply affected by what's going on right now.
The Pope stressing that people's spiritual rights, even if they're behind bars, should be respected. 525 down to Texas, where Governor Greg Abbott ordering cities to remove both rainbow crosswalks and art displays that, what he says, advances political agendas. Now, some mayors are complying, like Houston's John Whitmire.
I, as a mayor, am not going to risk federal funding.
Other cities fighting it. San Antonio officials plan to apply for an exception. That drew a sharp response from conservative groups like the San Antonio Family Association. They said in a statement that the rainbow crosswalk conveys public acceptance of unhealthy activities. Now, here is more from the Houston mayor.
I'm talking about health care, transportation. I have a responsibility to the entire city.
And that's why he says he's going to take those rainbow crosswalks away. San Antonio's first assistant city attorney says they're applying for an exception. They want to keep those rainbow crosswalks in place.
The safety data shows that it's safer with those markings.
And another lawsuit challenging the state's new 10 Commandment laws has hit San Antonio's federal court. Backers of the plan that want to post Bible verse in public schools say this is not about religion.
The 10 Commandments is one of the primary foundations for all legal systems in the world.
That's Sherry Sylvester. She's with the Texas Public Policy Foundation. She shot back at claims that state leaders are trying to convert all kids to Christianity by putting up the 10 Commandments. The ACLU suing, saying the law is unconstitutional, separation of church and state. They represent 15 Texas families who want those 10 Commandment posters taken down until the case is resolved. Sherry Sylvester says she'll fight that.
It's a message about the principles of Western civilization and the principles of law. And for people not to know about it and not to be reminded about that, that's just criminal.
It's the 77 WABC News Hour.
Talking the news with Noam Laden.
All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports. And now,
Talking the news with Noam
on 77 WABC.
Yes, that's me. Good morning. It is Thursday, November 6th. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Sunshine today, cooler than it has been. The high going to be 53. Tonight and overnight, partly cloudy, low 39. And then Friday, sun and clouds, high 60. If you are walking out the door with us right now, so happy you are. 47 clear in White Plains up in Westchester County. 48 and clear in Bergenfield over in New Jersey. And it's 46 and clear right outside our Midtown studios. WABC News Time 5:39. The FAA going to reduce flight capacity by 10% at 40 major airports across the country, including Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK, starting tomorrow, all connected to the government shutdown. TSA workers, air traffic controllers not being paid due to the shutdown. Some have been calling out sick. The decision could cut thousands of flights per day. FAA Administrator Brian Bedford, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, sounding this warning in a press conference yesterday.
The system is extremely safe today. It will be extremely safe tomorrow. And if the pressures continue to build, even after we take these measures, we'll come back and take additional measures.
Now, both Bedford and Duffy emphasizing that the decision to cut down the flights is proactive measure based on data the department has reviewed and the staffing pressures anticipated due to the shutdown. People calling in sick. There's staffing issues at Newark last week. There's been staffing issues at airports across the country this week.
We're noticing that there's additional pressure that's building in the system. And again, our priority is to make sure that you're safe.
Okay, so purposely done beginning tomorrow, 10% less flights. Newark, LaGuardia, Kennedy, we'll see some of this. So if you're somebody who's planning on heading out over the next 24 hours, for sure you want to check in with your carrier before you head out to the airport. The 2025 mayor's race drew the largest voter turnout since 1969. We're starting to analyze all these numbers post-election day. More than 2 million New Yorkers cast their ballots in the race for mayor. A lot of it, of course, more than 1 million of those votes went to Zohran Mamdani, and his supporters continue to celebrate his victory.
Well, I voted for Zohran. I think he's got a lot of really fantastic policies, and I'm just excited to kind of have, I think, a younger and more vibrant energy coming into the mayor's office as well.
One stat that blew me away, 90% of women between the ages of 19 and 34 voted for Zohran.
Just because he doesn't like the outcome of what's going on because of his policies doesn't mean that he has to shut down aid.
I do think it is a little bit of an empty threat.
Guy's full of hot air. I'm using my polite words.
They're talking about President Trump's threats to New York that'll cut off funding.
Definitely cost of living, particularly with public transportation.
Especially what he said that was going to do about the bus situation and also the living situation in New York City, which is quite expensive.
I mean, we may not agree with everything that he does, but I think it's going in the right direction.
And over in New Jersey, Mikey Sherrill talking about her big win. The polls were close in the final days of the campaign between her and Jack Ciattarelli, but in the end, really, she was a decisive victory. Sherrill hitting the ground running yesterday. She met with the current governor, Phil Murphy, in Trenton to discuss her transition to office.
Thrilled with the outcome last night, up and down the ballot, but most importantly, Mikey and Dale with a huge win.
That's Governor Phil Murphy, the Democrat. She was on Good Morning America yesterday.
White working class suburbs and black and Latino voters across the state. So it's remarkable when you look at the numbers, the swing in Hudson by about 22 points, Passaic by about 18 points.
Yeah, the win, just to show you how decisive her win was. So she won almost 500,000 more votes than Governor Murphy did when he won 4 years ago over Jack Ciattarelli. And her gains were so strong. And I had made this prediction. I said, hey, if she can flip those counties in southern New Jersey, then she's going to blow out Jack Ciattarelli. And that's exactly what she did. She flipped back 5 counties that had been won by President Trump in last year's presidential election, 4 of which Ciattarelli had won in 2021. So that's why that margin was so big. And President Trump, he was weighing in on the election results in New Jersey on Tuesday night.
I thought that New Jersey would do better.
I didn't think that Virginia was going to do very well. I didn't think the candidate, didn't really have my support, my big support.
The president said the GOP did not do enough to talk about the Republican strength across the country in either of those campaigns, Virginia or here in New Jersey.
And the country's doing very well, but as Republicans, you have to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, I saw that they kept talking about affordability. Well, Biden was a disaster with affordability. He had the highest inflation rate in the history of our country, but you have to talk about it. It's no good if we do a great job and you don't talk about it.
And lots of people continue to wonder if New Yorkers will really move out of New York with Mayor Mamdani in charge.
Zohran Mamdani's policies and socialist agenda may spell doom for New York City's finances. Governor Bill Lee down in Tennessee says, why not come to the volunteer state?
If you are a New York City business owner and you don't like the direction your city has headed, I have a message for you that Tennessee is open for business.
Governor Lee says they have a workforce ready for any industry or company, and that Tennessee is one of the most moved to states in the nation.
Our Department of Economic and Community Development is ready to help you make a move right now.
James Flippin for 77 WABC News.
I love that banjo in the background. Good job, James. Up to the Bronx, where we have just this horrendous story. 4 people found dead yesterday morning inside an apartment in the building in the Bronx. The bodies discovered about 10 in the morning. Castle Hill House is on Lacombe Avenue. Police initially responding after a request for a wellness check on this 5th floor apartment. When they entered the building, they found 4 bodies dead inside. They had been shot. Sources say the victims showed signs of trauma. It appeared to have been a murder-suicide.
Very fantastic. Loving person. Hygienic, very grateful, somebody that you could look up to.
That's one of the neighbors who knew the people killed. A gun was recovered inside the apartment. They say the victims include a 75-year-old woman, a 44-year-old man, a 26-year-old woman, and a man in his 20s. Now, police haven't confirmed to us which one of these people was the gunman, but neighbors say they know who it is.
I know them for more than 40 years. Cannot believe it. She was a friend of mine. Everybody knew her in Castle Hill. Everybody.
Yeah, so one of the people who lives in the building says that the gunman walked up the stairs past them and made this weird comment to them.
Just seen it yesterday. She seemed fine. Her son told somebody in the building he went upstairs to see a friend of his, and she was on her way to work. So he told him, he said, okay, I'm sorry we couldn't get together. I'll see you in the next life.
Yeah. All right. So 4 dead in what is a murder-suicide in the Bronx. In a moment, we're going to hear from the current mayor, Mayor Adams, who says, hey, I just want you to know I'm still mayor for the next, 30 days or so. We'll hear from him in just a moment. But first, 5:46, let's head over to the 77 WABC Sports Desk and Justin Ella.
Thank you, Noam Layden. We'll start with some basketball at the Garden. OG Anunoby scored 25 points. Jalen Brunson had 23 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds en route to a 137-114 Knicks win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Josh Hart added 18 points for the Knicks, who controlled the second half and improved to 5-0 at Madison Square Garden. They outworked the T-Wolves, turning 21 offensive rebounds into 31 second-chance points, then outscored them 83-56 after trailing by 4 at halftime. Karl Anthony Towns finished with 15 points and 10 rebounds. Up next for the Knicks, they'll host their crosstown rival Brooklyn Nets come Sunday. Speaking of those Nets, they finally did it. They overcame the loss of leading scorer Cam Thomas to claim their first victory of the season in a 112-103 road win over the one-win Indiana Pacers. Michael Porter Jr. had 32 points and 11 rebounds, making 10 of 20 shots, including 4 three-pointers as the Nets pulled away in the fourth quarter in a game of spurts that featured 12 lead changes and 10 ties. The Nets, who had lost their first 7 games of the season, got 4 other double-digit efforts as Nick Claxton scored 18, Noah Clowney had 17, Tyrese Martin 16, and then Terrence Mann 15. Up next for Brooklyn, they'll host the Detroit Pistons tomorrow. Look ahead to the ice tonight and got one local game to look forward to. 9-4 Devils back in action for 7 p.m. puck drop. They will welcome in the 9-3-1 Montreal Canadiens, and it is Thursday, which means the start of Week 10 in the NFL. Thursday night football, 8:15 p.m. kickoff as always. It's a 2-6 Vegas Raiders at the 7-2 Denver Broncos. Broncos there, 8.5-point home favorites. That is your Sports Noam, and I'm Justin Ellick on 77 WABC.
WABC News Time 549. Mayor Adams wants you to know he is still in charge at City Hall, even though Mamdani won the election on Tuesday night. The mayor says he has not spoken with the mayor-elect yet, but plans to invite him to Gracie Mansion for a meeting amid the transition. Mamdani win marks the beginning of the end, of course, of Adams' one term in office. The mayor was talking about the transition mode yesterday.
I wanted Cuomo to win, yes. But again, he's the pilot now. And all of my criticisms, all of my dislike of his policies, all the things that the DSA has done, to me, that's not significant. He's the mayor now. And any mayor is going to get my 100% support because New York can't fail.
Mayor Adams, though, says he wants you to know he's not done yet. Yesterday, he actually offered the 2,900 city employees who were terminated for not getting the COVID shot their jobs back. The mayor even revealed his plan for a more accessible city.
I have a whole lot of things I want to do. One of the biggest things I'm going to do is to introduce a language inclusive city. We have technology now that no matter what language you speak, you should be able to walk into an agency and have a conversation to get the delivery of services.
And with the closing of the Adams chapter comes what will probably be a mass exodus of top officials. Yesterday, Fire Commissioner Robert Tucker said he was headed for the door come mid-December, tendered his resignation just hours after Mamdani won the election. Kaz Daughtry, the deputy mayor of public safety, also seems to be leaving early, that according to the Daily News. The mayor says the mayor-elect should not be offended by any of that. He says that happened when he became mayor. People leave. People don't like you. People leave because just they want to leave. So he says, no big deal. And then the next question he was asked, this was an interview with New York One. He says, what next is for Mayor Adams? He's been real quiet about this. Does he have a job all lined up for January?
Individuals from various parts of the globe have reached out to me and stated, we like what you've done in New York. We're having issues in our country around public safety, around education, around housing. And so I have a lot of opportunities that I'm looking at to help cities across the country and across the
All right. So it sounds like he doesn't have a job yet. He says his first thing he's going to do is take some vacations and enjoy not being in charge of the city for a little while. 5:52. 2 New Jersey men have been arrested related to that planned Halloween terror attack near Detroit. No, that's not obviously it, but we'll get into that story in just a moment. George Santos, he's another person who says he is going to leave New York now.
The former Long Island congressman who was recently pardoned by President Trump says he's happy he's out of prison and he's getting out of town. He told Sid Rosenberg, host of Sid and Friends in the Morning, he's out of here.
I'm gone. And I'm gone to Florida. By January 1st, I will no longer have a driver's license from the Empire State.
He said the election of Mamdani as mayor of New York City clinched his move.
I will be leaving New York after 37 years. It's been a great ride. I've lived the de Blasio 8 years. I made it through. I lived Cuomo. I lived Adams. I gotta go.
Lisa G., 77 WABC News.
Let's go up to the Hudson Valley. So a member of the Carmel Central School District Board of Education getting a lot of backlash for comments he made about Zohran Mamdani. Some families calling the remarks upsetting. The comments were made by Michael Torpy. He, for some reason, at the end of the day on election night, went to his Facebook page. And now he's on the Board of Ed in Carmel, all right? He's nowhere near New York City, but he went on his Facebook page, and I'm always amazed that people still do this, that people are so silly, to comment on the election, which is only going to get you in trouble if you're the member of the Board of Ed.
We accomplished more at our school board meeting tonight than Zohran Mamdani has in his entire career in public service, which didn't exist until tonight. Thanks to the good people of New York City and their infinite, boundless wisdom. So, New York City, congratulations, and thank you for doing your part in the Islamic takeover of Western society.
Okay, so let me point out again. Michael Torpy is up in Carmel, New York, nowhere near New York City, commenting on the race in New York City on his Facebook page. So Of course you're going to get people who are upset by that because they're like, just do your freaking job. Here are some parents.
There is no way to misconstrue that kind of level of hate.
I think it's disgraceful.
I'm just more upset and appalled.
Yeah, so Torpy now apologizing. Of course. I would like to apologize, he sent this comment to News 12, for my recent comment regarding the mayoral race and retract my earlier statement from Facebook. I should have shared it privately and not in an official capacity. Yeah. Again, if you go on Facebook and you post a video, lots of people see it. And I'm amazed that people at 2025 don't realize that. Facebook's been around since 2008. Here are some more parents who say, you know what? This guy's a dope. He shouldn't be on the Board of Ed.
Well, he's supposed to represent all kids. He needs to be gone. He needs to just walk away, or the board needs to remove him.
Anyone who can say those things on their Facebook page shouldn't be trusted to guide our school district.
Again, you're on social media and you're representing kids who are on social media. You probably should set a good example. Michael Torpy did not do that there, but he has apologized. I should point that out. 5:55. Oh, yeah, I can't believe we missed this celebration. Is Joe Nolan there? I know it is a little early.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Did you know, and I'm going to play this little rap from Bree Tennis, that yesterday we missed it, and I apologize. But yesterday was Traffic Professionals Day. Here's what Bree Tennis said, how she reports it.
Traffic is not something you can really plan ahead for. Sure, you can leave the house a few minutes early, but getting stuck or navigating around a problem can be helped with your friendly traffic reporter, someone who can help you avoid car crashes, slow down, and full-on road closures. Their knowledge can help you save minutes, sometimes hours. Today, we celebrate those who have their eye on the road, satellites, police scanners, and navigation data, all to help you get on with your life. I'm Bree Tennis.
I can't believe we missed Traffic Reporters Day.
How did you miss
that? Yeah. So a day late, it's still good. Well, it's like wishing somebody happy birthday a day later. That still holds, right?
It's nice to get some recognition every so often. It's nice. Nice.
Who was the first station you reported for? Do you remember?
Kate, the old 92 KTU.
Oh, okay.
Before it moved to wherever it is now. And then in July of 1980 was Dan Ingram in here.
Jeez. So wait, how many years you been doing this?
46. It'll be 40. It'll be 46 in December.
That's
coming up on it.
There's nobody even close to you, right?
No. I am the longest tenured consecutive traffic reporter in the history of New York radio, and probably in the history of radio.
So have they put you into the Radio Hall of Fame just yet?
No,
or no?
Nobody cares.
They should. No, I mean, the fact that you've been on the air for that many years doing traffic reporting is incredible.
I've been on the air in New York radio for 46 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, consecutively between.
Is that a record?
Here and they were all ABC stations, pretty much. PLJ, ESPN Radio, this station, Channel 7.
Is that a record for radio just in general?
Yes. No.
What?
Kurt's been on longer than I have.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
There's a couple of other guys, too. Huh. Well, Brucey.
Oh, yeah. All right.
How did we forget Cousin Brucey?
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah. Well, anyway, sorry it was a day late, but happy Traffic Reporter Day.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Now I'm going to make you do your job. 5:57, right. Traffic transit on the 7s. Here's Joel Nolan.
Thanks for listening to the News Hour with Noam Laden. You can hear the News Hour with Noam Laden weekday mornings at 5 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode, so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
It's easy to get stuck reaching for the same familiar fruits and vegetables, even when you know a colorful variety is key. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie supplements don't replace fruits and vegetables, but it makes it easy to add more variety to what you already eat. With 31 ingredients that are whole fruits and vegetables, switching it up is easy because we've already taken care of the hard part. Go to balanceofnature.com and get a free fiber and spice supplement, plus 35% off your first set as a new preferred customer by using discount code POD.